Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of MTG Arena Run. Today we're going to be continuing our series on updating the Precons. And right now we're on Red-Green and it's called Stomp. So the original Precon, the idea is you want to get as many creatures with it's super mid-range basically. Power 4 or greater, and you crush your opponents with overwhelming force. So I wouldn't call Almighty Brushwag overwhelming force, but it does have trample. It can get big out of nowhere. It's a threat to be respected. Generally, people expect this in mutate decks, but we're not quite running mutate here. So that said, what are the keys to this deck? One, it's pretty much the focus on trample. So we got Ram True as our removal of choice. Nessian Horn Beetle grows, so that's fine. We have these guys. They can't attack unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater, but that shouldn't be a problem. We can get these guys we can get these guys relatively easily. We can use Rimrock Knight as a way to artificially boost, say, the Horn Beetle. And we got, let's see, Dreamstalker, Manticore. This one, not so much use. We do have a few spells that we can cast on our opponent's turn. We got, say, Hornbash Mentor as a way to make our other guys have trample, so that's something good. First Erewhon Games, another way to boost stuff, but this really feels... You're really in it for the draw 2 cards. If you can't get the third act right, then this card really didn't do anything. Leafkin Avenger, it's mana ramp for... It's a mana ramp and mid-range at the same time, and it can actually power itself like 8 mana to deal 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Bit expensive for my tastes. Rampart Smasher, this one's kind of one of the marquees. Okay, maybe not so much. There are a good number of knights, not so much on walls, but the 5/5 for 4 is relatively fine. Well, much better. Terror of the Peaks. If your opponent wants to remove it, they're going to take damage. If we can get creatures to enter the battlefield relatively easily, then we get free damage to any target. This is important. Return of the Wild Speaker, additional card draw. Escape to the Wilds. This one we usually see in the adventure decks. It's also a decent ramp, but otherwise not so much. Volcanic Salvo. Well, it's big removal, but we'll see how big this is. We'll test this deck out, see what pans out. The ones the ones with the big question mark for me are Unleash Fury. This is no Teamer Battle Rage. It doesn't provide trample. It's double power, not double strike. So that might be an issue. Caryatid is not bad. It's mana ramp. It's very soft though, but so we'll see if there are better substitutes for this. The Manticore, if we want to make good use of this, we have to buff it up. But then again, 2 toughness, not so great. We have a few question marks here. And then Horn Beetle is actually more of a question mark for me than the Brushwag, but we'll see. We'll test this out. Again, if you're not familiar with this setup, this is what we do. We take the deck, we'll give it a spin on standard 2021 play. And after a while, we will make updates to the deck right then and there, and we will see what sticks, what does not stick. Pretty much the auto changes I do is to the mana base. So basically 4 copies of Fabled Passage. I bring up the temples outright. There might be cases where that's not correct, but for the most part, I will just bump up the temples to 4. I'll bump up a few rares. I'll only add an additional mythic. Some cards might actually change along the way. But otherwise, I'll make all the changes as much as possible, focus on uncommons and commons, and probably a few choice rares. We might have to change the direction a deck goes. The White-Blue Constellation, that one had a slight... That one was a bit all over the place, so we shifted that more towards control. Blue-Black Mutate, that one was fine, so we just made it more mutate all the way. The Sacrifice, we did a little experiment, so we'll see if that panned out. As it is, this is probably one of the worst opening hands. We got turn 1, turn 2, sure. Some removal, but if we don't draw anything good... Okay, I'll show you why this is bad. We'll keep this one. And we'll see. I might proceed to actually win this one, and this would be that would be a very awkward statement from me. No, I'm pretty sure that we are the underdog on this one. We're kind of expecting that. Also, I would say that playing in Standard 2021, at least it's not a super established meta, but at the same time, there are some decks that are established that are coming out. Simic Mutate, Sultai Mutate, that one's a bit there. The Sacrifice deck's still plausible. Opponent goes Kitesail Freebooter. We probably lose the Ram True. Okay, we got Hornbash Mentor, so that's something. Now, if our opponent was paying attention, yeah, he wouldn't play that. That said, I could still play the Rimrock Knight. Then watch our opponent have the spell that deals -1/-1 to all opponent's creatures. Grim Dancer. This is actually one of the... So we're gonna be really on the lookout for removal. Okay, that Volcanic Salvo is gonna take a while. Also, the Almighty Brushrock's gonna take a while too. I'm gonna swing anyway because this one's like Menace and Lifelink already. Okay, Hornbash Mentor. We'll make the Rimrock Knight. Have Trample. We can start buffing. We can start buffing these two, so we have that option on the table. I kind of feel like our opponent's about to drop an Obliterator, even though this is standard and not historic. Yeah, my issue is that there are way too many mid and high cost spells. We'll probably lose the Salvo. That's our other removal spell. I'll be surprised if our opponent lets us keep it. Yeah, that one's gonna go. And another Grim Dancer. This one is now Death Touch and Menace. So I'm actually gonna swing with all three. We have ways to make all of these lethal for our opponent's Grim Dancers. Okay, opponent's gonna block that way, sure. And we got rid, and it's the Death Touch one that's okay. So we put out a Rampart Smasher. Next turn, we will probably have to decide if we do draw a land. We have to decide. Oh, we don't have to decide. That said, I could still Relative and Sanctum of Stone Fangs. Okay, this is... Well, our opponent's gonna catch up on life now. And we're just gonna have to keep bashing back in response. Yeah, I'll play the Forest. There are some... We did lose 1/5 casting cost spell. We might have another one. Opponent is racing. Do they have removal? Grey Merchant. Ooh, that's 7. That brings us down to 1. And let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, that was a good Grey Merchant. Yeah, so relatively not bad, but yeah, good game. So losing these key spells was a problem. So we definitely want more removal, especially on the 2-mana range. So what are the cards? So definitely more Scorching Dragonfires. In fact, we swapping them out with Fire Prophecy might be plausible. Really depends on the power of Planeswalkers coming in. If Planeswalkers are a problem, we go Scorching Dragonfire. If not, binning a card and drawing another one is actually a good option too. Definitely want to up that removal. We will up the Ram Trues. There are plenty of juicy targets there. We don't have a we don't have a wipe alternative outside of Storm's Wrath. Now, if we run enough creatures with 5 toughness, Storm's Wrath is not bad. Can't keep this one. Our mana fixing is not that great. We can keep this. I don't want to keep this one, to be honest, but we'll keep it. So turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. We'll bin one Ram True. Again, I'm not really convinced. Opponent milled twice. No, mulligan twice, sorry. So definitely turn 1 Highlands, turn 2 Rimrock Knight, turn 3 Rimrock Knight, and maybe a Ram True to go with it. And afterwards we're out of gas. Okay, we got Leafkin Avenger in our future, so... And if our opponent's taking their time... Yeah, let's get these guys on the board. We can do a quick aggro start. Rimrock Knight is probably okay. Actually, an Embercleave doesn't sound bad too. It's what they usually put. Okay, since we know we are not casting Leaf... You cannot let the Setessan champion stay. There's really no way we can do that. So... Down to 9. We'll have a 4-3 next turn, but not so exciting. I kind of wish I did not bin that Ram True. Okay, so... Yeah, definitely want to have an Embercleave. Opponent can start gaining... Well, drawing cards and gaining a little bit. Not too much. And our opponent needs to have a sweeper of some sort. Banishing Light here takes it out, makes this a 2-4, but still needs to answer a 3-1. Warbriar Blessing, that will snipe one of these. Does he draw a card? No, I think our opponent failed to draw cards. Yeah, the double mull is bad. So we kind of want to have a potential for an early aggro presence. We don't want to be limited to the mid-range plan. So we have to remember all the good creatures that we did not lose in rotation. Like the Barkhide Troll is actually... I'm gonna double check. I'm pretty sure Barkhide Troll is not in the... Yeah, Barkhide Troll is not... We're gonna lose Barkhide Troll, so much for that one. We're gonna lose Paradise Druid, so no perfect ramp there. We're going to lose Pelt Collector, that's also bad. We're gonna lose Zerta Goblin. Wow. We're gonna have Robber of the Rich, so that's... But I don't want to put 4 mythics. I'm pretty sure most people have them by now. I kind of got those early, but I don't like the idea of endorsing. Oh, let's get 4 mythics. You might happen to be playing mono red. Let's try not to go there. That said, this is a mana issue. Also, now that I think of it, the way they're setting up the different decks are kind of interesting. Like green-white on the Precons, the adventure deck, but it could easily be set up as constellation deck. In fact, it looks great. I guess it's only because it's rare heavy. You'd want the Archon, you want the Setessan champion. You'd want Elspeth Conquers Death. Banishing Light is not rare, but that's fine. It can get really expensive. Okay, we're definitely not keeping this. We are keeping this. Good. I do want to keep the first Aero 1 games. I guess we just bin the Brushwag? Yeah, if I knew I could bin the land, I would have bin the land. Our opponent is representing Shock. Okay, so this is spells. Horn Beetle turn 2. This one probably eats a Shock, but that's fine. Let's get that out of the way. I'm trying to remember if... Well, this one probably runs Trill. Oh, Teferi. Okay, question. Who is getting milled? Oh, target opponent. So it's always gonna be me. Okay. So it's red. So we're gonna go running wardens. First into a first Iroan games. Our opponent probably has some amount of removal, though. Okay, we lost the lands. That's kind of fine, I guess. Opponent might still have counter spells. On the weird off chance our opponent has Lofty Denial. Most likely it's a Mystical Dispute. No. Okay, let's see if our opponent has the anti... Nope. Okay, it's interesting. So at least we know our life total is not quite in jeopardy. Just for meaning. Yeah, our opponent's gonna try to mill us out. Is it... Are we fast enough? That's the question. If our opponent actually drops a creature, Ram True is perfect. Kinda wish I dropped the Rugged Highlands now. Okay, bye-bye Brushwag. Leafkin Avenger Rimrock. That would have ended the game. Scorching Dragonfire might not actually be relevant here. Opponent's stuck on Storm's Wrath. Okay. So that's where we get problems. So we will... I'll actually play first Iroan games out. Actually, I probably should have played the Hornbash Mentor because this is now shock. Yeah, if your opponent Storm's Wrath, very good. Four toughness is decent, but it's still not wrath proof. Cathartic Reunion, drawing more cards. We are actually down to half, less than half now. Okay, we lost Terror of the Peaks. Let's see if our opponent has... Yeah. Opponent probably has removal. No removal. Okay. I also don't think our opponent has any creatures at all, so that might... Oh, non-human. So, Iroan Games, that was a weird whiff. And if our opponent has Brazen Borrowers, well, now we're in serious rush time. We are down to 28. If our opponent has a second Storm's Wrath, we can kiss this game goodbye. Trail of Possibility, not quite there yet, but yeah, we're gonna get milled out. Okay, we lost the return. Yeah, it's literally dodging Storm's Wrath. Opponent probably has multiples of Storm's Wrath. We get to draw cards, but unless we draw something good out of those, opponent's just guarding. Yeah, he's gonna maintain that. It really needs. Okay, lost the Giant, lost another Rimrock. We still haven't unbridled. Fire Prophecy. We'll definitely bin one draw card. So we're gonna go down to... Wow. Yeah, I don't think there's a way we can win this one. There's our second Unleash Fury. Draw two cards. Yeah, those are not gonna help us. And let's see if... I'm pretty sure our opponent has enough card draw, so I'm just gonna say the good game right there. Fire Prophecy... Yep, that's good. Yep, that's good game. That was an early Teferi's Tutelage that we could not do anything about. And yeah, the Terror meeting seals the deal. We are vulnerable to enchantments. We don't exactly have something like a Rex Sage. We do have spells. No, Wilt is actually... Wait. We do have something with cycling. We can run that. Something to consider. We need to have... we don't normally... I don't normally recommend initially putting sideboard cards. Our best bet there was really to race, but yeah, we got milled out very quickly. This one, I am more willing to keep. We definitely want more removal, so I'll probably spend some of my quote unquote free rare picks on Bone Crusher Giant. Definitely upgrading the Dreamstalker Manticore. It's just, well, it's 1 damage to any target. Might be relevant, but you only get 1 a turn. It's not like whenever you cast a spell on an opponent's turn, it's just the first spell. And we don't exactly quite have we don't exactly have case creatures, so there's okay, at least got Rugged Highlands. Oh yeah, and as far as we're definitely sniping the goose. Never, it's a literal bolt the bird. Opponent hits 3 mana. Opponent probably counters this, or has some sort of response. Sea Dasher Octopus. Oh, it's Flash. At least it's not Shittering Harvester. Yeah, I still remember. If you've seen my last draft video, the Ikoria draft, Shittering Harvester very decent. Okay, Insatiable Hemophage. If our opponent swings, I will definitely block. Because our opponent's reliant on drawing cards at this rate, so if we can keep our opponent from doing so, I will. Opponent realizing that's probably a bad idea. I want to keep encouraging that. Opponent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Shittering Harvester. We will sack the Warden. But now we need to hold up Unleash Fury. If I can get another mana, first Erewhon Games is it will also be a good counter to the. It will also be a good counter at Shittering Harvester. Unfortunately, we did not, so. Alternately, we could have cast Bone Crusher Giant because this taps for mana, but. Okay, he can mutate forever. Opponent really all in. Okay, we'll let that resolve. We will sacrifice the Brushwag. It's so mighty. Opponent definitely swings. No. Opponent does not swing. He wants us to sack our entire board, I guess. Okay, definitely one Unleash Fury up top. Now I need red mana, so I can't exactly tap that. If our opponent's able to get the second Shittering Harvester, then we're in real trouble. We're just trying to... Okay, opponent attacks. Block with the Bone Crusher Giant. Unleash Fury on the Bone Crusher Giant. Take the 2 damage. Opponent probably has a removal spell. If it's if it's just Flash for Chittering Harvester, I sack the Leafkin Avenger. Go down to 4, so that was a big risk. Opponent draws a card. Does he have... He probably still has gas. Okay. He has lands. You may cast, so this one will come back. Opponent can actually cast this now. So that's, well, at least we have another Unleash Fury. So Boneyard Lurker. Opponent's probably wising up to our trap now. Yeah, this is what we're expecting. Pretty much Slow Time Mutate. Our opponent will get another card. And the other problem is we will go down to 1. Opponent, wait, can he cast this now? Not quite. Our best bet now is to actually draw a Ramtrue. Yeah, our life is so low at this point. Does he swing? No, it does not swing, so neither will we. Draw a Terror. Unfortunately, we're at 5 mana. I will have to tap the Avenger if I want to cast Terror. Yeah, trample is an issue. Opponent's gonna take it though. Yeah, it's good game though. Opponent just does the Chittering Harvester, we go down to 1. So, Unleash Fury, not the best option. I would rather just have good removal instead. Opponent gets, yeah, opponent gets and actually that's enough. So, we can concede right then and there. So, okay, I think we might have enough. Yeah, I think we can now start making changes. And I think it looks like all our changes are going to be in the rare slot. I'm not so sure what our mythics are, but let's start making those changes. We will actually keep the Rampart Smasher, although it's just a 5/5 for 4. It's not so great. Okay, what are the ones we're cutting? Let's cut the Brushwag. Let's actually start with our lands first. Okay, and I think we can get away with 24. We don't need 25 lands. There, 8/6 so far. I'm going to cut the Volcanic Salvo. That's such an underperformer. Let's start with really good creatures. Destiny Spinner's and we also need to set this to make sure we're not adding anything inadvertently. I almost thought about the Crawl Harpooner, but wait, nope, not quite. We can actually do a bit of a food team here because we need creatures that act as removal. So Wicked Wolf is a good consideration there. It just happens to be very expensive. We can add Yorvo. It will lead us more towards green. So it's actually another question of what direction we want to take. But first, let's start with the obvious ones. Okay, so Questing Beast is a mythic. We'll keep the Terror of the Peaks because that's okay, but we're definitely adding a Questing Beast here. We want good cards in the 4-drop slot. 5 might be late. Return of the Wild Speaker probably is late for that reason. I'm trying to remember if Voracious Hydra. Nope, Voracious Hydra's not in. There's a Kolga, but that's expensive. Primal Might is also our good removal. In fact, this is what they pretty much run, so we'll stick with Ramtrues and Scorching Dragonfires for now. We will cut the Unleash Furies. Elysian Caryatid, we're not trying to ramp, we're trying to be mid-range, so we'll actually cut these. So we need to look for good 3-drops, good 4-drops. Unfortunately, usually when you go wide like this, it's really rare heavy. So let's start with the obvious add-ons. 4x Ram True, 4x Scorching Dragonfire. Horn Beetle is fine, I guess. We'll definitely up the Warden because that's the cheapest 4-drop. Is there any Leafkin Avenger? Rada's a good one because it helps us ramp. Clotis is also a good one if you can spare another one because it's a way to stay in the game. I definitely want to keep Questing Beast. If it was not for, I guess an excuse to cut Questing Beast and Terror of the Peaks is to put Giganta as a companion. Like, actually now I think of it, okay, and it'll cut Rampart Smasher also, but everything else would kind of fit. Okay, we probably can add the Quartzwood Crasher if we're going for the Trample team. It's, again, quite expensive, but 5 is not bad. We'll add Rada. We'll cut the first Iroan games. That one's very weird. Leafkin Avengers. We'll cut that one. That's actually very soft. Yeah, if I do want to... We could make this the first one with Giganta. We don't quite benefit as much from it, but it's worth a shot. But let's see what else. We definitely are adding more removal, so we maxed out Scorching Dragonfire. I want to add another Bone Crusher. Annex is a way to go wide. Oh yeah, wait. Embercleave is a mythic. Yikes. We're actually flush with choice, so it's actually quite questionable. It's a shame with Terror of the Peaks, but I think we can cut this one. Like, we want to go aggro. Generally, if we're building this deck for real, I would add more Embercleaves. Torbrand, not so much. Annex is fine, actually. Oh, Storm's Rat, that one wrecked us. Yeah, Annex is a good way to keep our cards intact. Phoenix of Ash, no. What are other escape cards? Not so much in escape, actually. Okay, we'll just add another one of this. We'll keep the Hornbash Mentors. Tree is not so bad. In fact, we will add one Yorvo, though the mana's probably gonna be awkward. Alternately, we can add the Drowsing Pteranodons, even though it doesn't become big. A 3/3 for 2 mana is fine. Garrick's Harbinger is also another 4-drop. Yeah, you know what? I guess I could also just throw the budget out the window. I could just overload it with everything, but that's not so fun. Well, and we get other cards like Angurius. Wow. Basically, if you want to go this route, you are investing a ton of rares. There's really no way around it. Garrick's Harbinger is a good option. Lack of trample, but there is Hornbash Mentor. I will add one. I wish there's a way to check how many rares I put in. Okay, we'll max out Rimrock Knight. Is there any other cheap adventure creature that we can add? I'm tempted to add the other adventure, which is Embret Shieldbreaker, because we probably will run into adventure decks having a way to nuke their Lucky Clover is a good thing. Yeah, you really want... Yeah, if I go the super expensive route, all the Horn Beetles will be replaced with Scavenging Oozes. You know what? Let's keep this budget for now. And I'm really using the term budget loosely. So 2 trees. In fact, I guess we can cut 1 Rampart Smasher. Let's just fill it out with shocks. Let's get some early removal. We kind of need it. Infuriate is an option. I could also just say, like, let's do a check. Is Hornbash Mentor the only human? Yes, they're the only human. Quartzwood Crasher, decent, but feels like a win more. Let's keep the mana curve as low as possible. Let's add another Hornbash. Oh, I don't actually. Yeah, fine, we'll add another Hornbash Mentor. One uncommon, two rares, that's fine. So, yeah, still have some. So again, do note that we are losing out on things like card advantage and whatnot. Other things we can add to the... We probably should redo the land... Retool that land base though. 7/7. I'm not so comfortable with it. I might actually want to lean more towards one color. It's general. That's a general rule in building. You lean towards one color whenever possible. And since we're heavy on green, I want to lean more towards green, so... But what are the good green cards we can add that don't break the bank? Chainweb, Arachneer. It does come back. It answers flyers. It's also cheap. Kenrid's Transformation. Some sort of removal. Destiny Spinner. Kind of fine. Yeah, let's be honest. I really would have put all 4 Scavenging Oozes here. Excavation Mole. Crashing Brontodon is something we can put in. It's a way to answer. I did mention we will be having problems with enchantments and artifacts. So that's actually one thing we can do. Like, let's cut the shock plan. Let's go for the Trashing Brontodon plan. Let's wipe that filter. Yeah, there's Return to Nature, but we need it in the form of a creature. Just like we need the game to give us answers in the form of a question. I actually consider actually there's also Garrick's Uprising. It's a way to give everything trample. I can ditch the Hornbash Mentors that way. It's also a way to draw cards and it's uncommon. You know what? Let's do that. Maybe not too many Uprisings, I guess. It does mean Trashing Brontodon is slightly awkward, but so is Rimrock Knight, so is Nessian Hornbeetle. But we can't just have everything have 4 power. Well, there's a Loathsome Chimera, but this dies to anything. There's Lovestruck Beast. This is the other card I would put in. Yeah, you can already see the direction we're going. Super heavy on rares. We'll try this medium version for now. Actually, I might... Anyway, cut one Uprising. Yeah, let's just add another Rampart Smasher. So we are a 3 mana deck essentially, and there we've adjusted the mana likewise. So we will definitely lean more on green if we do this style. Oh my goodness. So many rares. So many rares. I don't know if you guys find it interesting me talking through all these decisions. If this halfway step works well, it's probably a good reason to go all the way. The only caveat now is, what does Zendikar Rising have to give us? We will find out. We'll start getting first glimpses in a few hours actually as of this recording. So by the time you see this video, some of them have come up already. We already have we kind of have an idea of some of the planeswalkers. We've seen a Nahiri spoiler, we've seen a Jay spoiler. Those are official ones, by the way. Everyone's still speculating on this. Everyone knows it's this, it's just not what. There's also speculation on Omnat. What exactly does a 4-color elemental look like? Opponent is, well, new, maybe. We'll see. Temple of Abandon, Rimrock Knight. Actually, we might not even run Rimrock Knight. I might just abandon Dragonfire if I have to. But this one's more of a test. Okay, we're multiple Wardens is not bad. We do have 1, 2. Fine, we'll draw that one. Because we're operating a 3 mana at this rate, so we should be kind of fine. Thassa's Oracle. Is this that kind of deck? It will be weird if that's the combo. We're definitely keeping the land. I might need this Scorching Dragonfire or something. This might be... It's not self-Baron. Oh, there's a... So it probably bounces Thassa's Oracle back. Okay, sure. Draws a card. We probably should Scorching Dragonfire that, but... we can kind of do it next turn. Next turn, I can just Scorching Dragonfire Rimrock Knight. Opponent is definitely mono blue at this rate. Opponent has a Vantress Gargoyle, so it's each player mills a card. So there's a self-mill team here. Let's just cut the shenanigans. That's what I put the removal in there for. This could be a Gadwick deck, actually, now I think of it. Opponent's gonna... Oh, Nyx Lotus. Okay, yeah, this is that's a good reason. Unfortunately, we're shy on mana. So we did answer some of our opponent's early stuff. The Nyx Lotus is going to be a problem, especially if our opponent drops a... It's going to be Gadwick. So it's... Oh, Arcanist. Oh, that's a problem too, because this is like 6 mana. Opponent hits another Vantress Gargoyle. Toss a Deep Dwelling. This will get a refresh here. So our play is just simple. We burn these. We burn these two. Opponent can't block unless you have 4. So this one can't block. It can attack us. Opponent gets another shot. Folio of Fancies. Yeah, this is the self-mill deck. Swing with both Embercleave. Like, I can cut it down to 4. Opponent can't block anyway. This is just me playing it safe because I don't like the idea of our opponent blinking this again. Oh wait, our opponent can't block anyway, so... that doesn't quite matter. If he blocks with the Thassa's Oracle, it's plausible, but not really. I'm holding up the Ramtrue. Opponent definitely wants to have something better to blink than Thassa's Oracle. That said, we could respond to the trigger by sniping Thassa's Oracle. Like, our opponent's at exactly 5 Devotion. And Embercleave could give us the win, even if it's just with a bunch of Wardens. Wait! Not over yet. Opponent is... Each player draws 4 cards? I guess that's plausible. Our opponent is looking for something. Okay, each player draws 4 cards. We'll resolve that. He's got 2 mana left. Can't untap this unless he drew a corridor monitor. That's pretty much what our opponent... Okay, I think our opponent whiffed there. Go for the snipe. This one can now block. Yeah, we managed to... Yeah, I'm surprised we actually managed to do it. Yeah, having all that removal is very important. We needed to... Yeah, we needed to clear that board. And green... Well, red has Storm's Wrath, but it will also hurt us badly too. Look, I'm starting to see... Yeah, it's looking like if we are willing to spend even more... Don't make this an endorsement for all the rares. See if... Try this version first, see if you enjoy the playstyle. If you're fine with it, then you can start investing little by little. It's definitely keeping this. Horn Beetle... Turn 2 Horn Beetle's fine. In fact, we got the combo of sorts. Turn 2 Horn Beetle, turn 3... Opponent's a bit of a ways from 27, so we have some time before we need to snipe. Like, I could play this first. This grows. Swing. Let's see if our opponent does... Yeah, no, I figured our opponent was not gonna jump. Let's see. Is this... Oh, boss read. So this is now... It's indestructible until end of turn. Okay.
I will guard your advance.
We will block because there's no reason for us to lose the 2 life. But... Actually, there's a trick. Let's see if how our opponent blocks. Okay, let's make sure this doesn't have trample, this does have trample. So gains life, but goes down to 2-4. Okay, there we go. Now our opponent is already pressured to start putting down more creatures. There's another Daxos. And there's an Alseid which he can use to protect with. That's the bad news. We need 1 more mana though. +1/+1 3/6, sure. There's a temple, so not quite the one I was looking for. We will keep that Fabled Passage. We need to start hitting right. Opponent is 1 mana away from hitting that emblem. So we want to see how he does it. This one can only protect creature or enchantment. Okay, going for the max out. So I'm gonna encourage him to... Oh no, he's laying it true. Yeah, he's letting it through. Gains a little life, but the damage is quite done already. Though that said, okay, Elspeth's Son's Nemesis makes a few tokens, so that will protect Basri.
Oketra's love is your shield.
This is target creature you don't control. Okay. Just getting some extra damage through. We'll see how our opponent is incentivized to go through this. Opponent's probably gonna make another 2/1/1 white soldiers. There's a Linden. Emblem. Wait. This will be my first time create and put a +1/+1 counter at the beginning of combat, so this becomes a 4/4/2/2/2/2/2. Okay. Okay, we drew a ton of lands we didn't want. Opponent is gonna mandatory block. So this becomes a 5/5. Our opponent can start gaining a little life again. We can snipe it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have to snipe.
Your allies will support you.
Okay, gains life, pumps something. I don't think our opponent has a way to protect it though. Yeah, that Escape to the Wilds hit some good stuff. We could have whiffed easily on that one, that's an issue. Opponent has another Basri. So we need to damage past this one. Opponent will have 2 creatures, so we need to hit a removal spell. Opponent cannot attack with this at this rate. And that's why we have additional burn. In fact, I would probably prioritize the Bone Crusher Giant at this rate. Well, there we go. We beat how many? That's a Planeswalker emblem. Yeah, we punched through quite a bit. So we prioritize that removal. And prioritize having those big creatures. I guess we have time for another game or two. So let's keep going at this. Yeah, we have I think we have a decent hit here. Again, it's not that far a stretch. If we're willing to invest in even more rares, we can get the most out of it. We're definitely, yeah, we definitely need to keep the 2 burn because it's a Lurrus deck. I'm probably gonna actually bin the Warden because this gives us the option to play. Interesting. So this might be a life gain deck of some sort, so having these burn spells is very important. Opponent has Griffin Airy. So I will not be surprised if our opponent has some sort of enchantment removal. No, some enchantment buff. It's like could be an aura of sorts. It could also just be a straight up revitalize. Let's see what our opponent does. I'm willing to take it for now. Okay, fine. We Bone Crusher Giant now. No, definitely want to play Radha. As long as his return has first strike. Okay, we couldn't. Well, we get to draw this. Speaker into Lurus. Into all that glitters. But no haste. Into Sentinel's Eyes. That's a 5/5. That's annoying. Okay, so we can play this. Okay, opponent's not biting. Yeah, we'll play the obvious one. Because the Rimrock Knight not so obvious. Opponent could still pump this, I guess. Another Griffin Airy takes it to a 6/6. So let's see. I'll say, oh, Nyx has protection. Okay, we can. I guess we take the hit for now. Opponent will get 2 birds. That's a problem. Yeah, we kind of sat on this too long. So we do have our Trashing Brontodon. We can use it to target creature or enchantment you control gains protection. Okay, something to consider. We'll play this one first. We'll take out all that glitters. Opponent, probably lets it go. That makes sense. So now we have to answer these two up top. We might have some time, but probably not. I'm gonna swing with Radha because it has first strike at least. And it's a good way to snipe stuff. I don't think our opponent's gonna be willing to sack Alcei just to protect one of them. Oh, might. He'll lose the other one regardless. Oh no, opponent just chose to let it go. I guess that makes more sense. Protecting the speaker is probably a bigger shot. Also, our opponent's about to start getting 4/4 angels, so and another all that glitters. Yeah, I guess we can safely concede at this point. This is where I miss Blast Zone. We missed the opportunity to snipe this. I underestimated our opponent's ability to stack stuff. That one's all on me. I had the means to remove it. Probably should have just removed it in the first shot. Okay, so we'll do one more game. And actually, that's the thing. If you're willing to own up on some of the things you do, you get to realize that not everything that happens in the game is the game's fault. Like some of the decisions we make, it actually turns out to be our fault. It's our mistakes. So being able to recognize that and being able to learn from it, that's how you become a better player. That said, we'll see. Yeah, that said, really happy against that mono white matchup. Not so much on this second one. Yeah, we're keeping this one. Horn Beetle. Okay, Trashing Brontodon, not quite 4 power, but. And is this the same opponent? This is a worse hand now. We don't have the removal. So if auras are going to be a thing, we probably should start. I would probably add shocks. Okay, this is so far creature based. But this is the worst hand for this. Opponent's gonna start. Oh, it's just creatures so far. But we're gonna have a hard time getting through this one. No, I don't like the idea of attacking because it just encourages everyone to attack. 24, 25, 20... Wait, 24, 25, 26, 27... Opponent will make a... We can at least try to dissuade our opponent a bit. Because our opponent attacks with these three, that's already 27. Our opponent will hit 27. And really fast if we don't have the...
I can escape my past no more than I can escape my shadow.
But that said, if our opponent attacks...
The heart of a hero beats with my chest.
24, 25, 26. First auto block here. So he gains the life but doesn't gain the can't activate it quite yet. So I'm actually gonna play another Trashing Brontodon. Opponent is up on life. So if our opponent tries to go for... I cast... Okay. Okay. Yeah, my dog's fighting again. Yeah, the only way we're getting damage through is, like, say... Embercleave, knock our opponent down a few pegs.
You are braver than you know.
I will have to take this damage though, that's a problem. We're gonna go for the Embercleave strategy. That's literally all we've got right now. We could... Well, technically we're still dead, but we're kind of... It's kind of choice of how we're gonna die. We can die to the 4-4. Let's see. Actually, if our opponent's not gaining life this way, we can take our opponent down to 26. We can put up a Rampart Smasher. That buys us a little more time. But we definitely have to block this one. There's a Banishing. And yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, so turns out mono white is a problem if we don't have the interaction. So I guess that's something we prioritize. I guess in the future build of this one, we will add shocks. We will add Scavenging Ooze. It buys us some time. It gains us life. It shuts down reanimation strategies, of which so far I haven't seen many of. Probably because I didn't stock it with rares. I would love to add Robber of the Rich. It's a good way to start gaining advantage of our opponent. But there we go. That's the update on the Stomp deck, and definitely can upload it with a ton of rares, but there are ways we can make do with it even without the rares. So there you go. That's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. We're gonna be getting Zendikar Rising previews soon. I hope. I'm actually excited to looking forward to those. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great day, everyone.